Okay, hey everyone. Today we are looking at my least favorite, I guess you could call it weapon archetype in Dark Souls. The only one I hate, actually, straight swords. I don't hate them because they're annoying. Before I get into this, I just want to say, and doing this one, the only reason I'm doing this showcase at all is so I can show my reasoning for hating straight swords so much. So, I really just don't want to be bashing straight swords on my channel all the time without explaining why they suck. And that's why I'm doing this. So, first off, they only have two good weapons in the whole archetype. The Dark Sword. And the only reason that's good is for the move Stomp. Which I honestly think is a lot better than Stance in every bloody way. And the Ethereal Straight Sword. Which is this one. Which is only good because it does frostbite damage. Good for a luck build. Secondly, I hate this weapon art. It's so bad. For a weapon that's supposedly super fast, it's a really slow weapon art that can be very difficult to aim. And what does it do? It just does a bunch of damage. It doesn't do anything to further the fight for you in any way. It's just an attack that does a lot of damage. That's it. Thirdly, the range. They have deceiving range, which you might think is good, but I'm referring to how a lot of the time they can't hit as far away enemies as even the end of the weapon model. A lot of them can't even pull that off. So they have range that's deceiving in a bad way. Next is how you have to two-hand them to break a shield. Which means you can't use a shield yourself. Pretty much the only thing they have going for them is their speed, which, if you want speed, use a dagger or use maybe the best weapon type in the game, a curved sword. Not these pieces of garbage. I cannot rate straight swords without bringing up curved swords. I just can't. So, curved swords are just as fast as a straight sword. Okay? So that means they already have the one strength straight swords have. And their weapon art's way better. It can stagger your enemies and then quickly chain into the strong attack or the light attack, allowing you to unleash a powerful combo that just one-shots your enemies. Also, the paired version has a combo that does a lot of damage, which is simply L1, L2, L1. And it leaves your enemy vulnerable for a finishing blow. Which is kind of broken. Unlike the straight sword weapon art, which is just this garbage, which is like impossible to aim most of the time. And in this, which, because you have to be so close to use it, your enemy's just going to have a shield up and it's going to do like nothing. Unless you're going to set up a riposte, it's kind of useless. And if you want to riposte an enemy, just use a dagger. It does more damage. I'm not even kidding. Not to mention, it doesn't work on every enemy. I'll admit straight swords are kind of a PvP slayer. I mean, sorry, not PvP. PvE slayer, like normal enemies. But when it comes down to a boss, you're kind of screwed. Okay, yeah, you see, that's what I was talking about. You have to two-hand the straight sword to break a shield. Which is kind of pathetic. Straight swords also are best on a quality build, which is one of the most expensive builds. Except for this one. This one's best on a luck build. My stats are pretty even, but that doesn't change the fact that straight swords are mediocre at best. Not to mention, they're not a fun weapon to play around with. I don't really like any aspect of straight swords. I mean, if you know how to use them, they can be beastly, but you can say that for literally any weapon in the game. No matter what weapon you use, it's going to be beastly if you know how to use it. That's not an argument. If you know how to use the broken straight sword, it can be effective. But it's not worth all that crap. Any weapon, if you know how to use it, is going to be beastly. That is not an argument. But the main thing I have against straight swords is, well, one, for the damage they do, they actually take up a lot of stamina. See that? And I have 20 endurance. So that's a big problem. For the amount of damage they do, the only reason I'm doing a lot of damage is frostbite. That's it. Frost damage. Now, my other biggest gripe with them is they only have 2 good weapons in their entire archetype. This and the Dark Sword. And these are mediocre at best. Even this is only good on a luck dex build, which is expensive as hell. Anyways, that's why I hate straight swords. You might think early in the game they could be useful, but they become obsolete as soon as you hit Firelink Shrine. You can buy the dang scimitar. This has been Dynamics Rage on Straight Swords.